My name is Claudia Giacomobello. I'm co-founder and design lead at Save the Clock Lighting Design Studio in Milan. I graduated in industrial design at Politecnico of Milan and Luigi Bocconi University, a joint degree with a dual specialization in lighting design and fashion design management. At the beginning of my professional experience, I explored various design areas in order to understand which of the subjects I studied suited me better. So I work as a graphic designer, a web designer, and exhibit designer. And when I had the opportunity to join a big studio here in Milan as a lighting designer, I realized that it was my way. Lighting is for me the most physical, immaterial element existing, and what I prefer and what I love is to drawing with it. Works on the space like a painter could do with his brush, transforming perception, emphasizing details, and creating atmosphere, and interpreting the needs and tastes of customers. So every day I deal with very different projects and very different clients, ranging from small to large, private and public companies. As a designer, I'm very lucky to say I had the opportunity to explore basically every field of design areas, residential, commercial, public spaces. I love every aspect of my work on every area of application, but the most interesting and satisfying field I had the opportunity to deal with is certainly lighting church. So this is why I specialized in this area, church and restaurant. There are two projects I'm very proud of. The first is the Basilica of Sant'Agostino in Rome. This was the first opportunity I had to designing the light of a church. And it opened my eyes about what wonderful heritage is preserved in our churches. Unfortunately, this wealth is often taken for granted or abandoned, or in many cases even damaged by a bad lighting. So when I went in Rome and I saw the church, the Basilica, I say, wow, it houses works by Bernini or Vanvitelli, Caravaggio, Raffaello, and I had to reinterpret the lighting of this artistic and symbolic heritage, respected and valued it. So, luckily, I could use the technology of LED, which let me make the intervention less invasive and more performing. I could give back to the visitors the correct vision of the colors and the details, and killing the glare problems which were caused by previous intervention which had to deal with the more elementary tools. I created different settings of lights for different moments and uses of the chapel. So this was a very exciting experience and I'm very proud of. The second project I'm very proud of is the cloister of Santissima Trinità of Viterbo. It is a place linked to art and faith too. It is a place of immeasurable beauty, completed frescoed. It was almost completely dark at night, so the clients called us because they wanted to give a new light to the cloister and make it accessible to visitors as well as to the monks. This project had been exciting due to its challenges related to historical asset and physical space and the dimension and the assessments of the frescoes. I am really proud, of course, of the results, of the satisfaction of client, of the awards that become later, like Claudia Special Mention. But what remained actually impressive is the memory of a group of citizens that after the inauguration come to look for me and stop at me and tell me, thank you. We had never understood, looking at the closer during the day, how much beauty it was and what wealth we had in Viterbo. I work for this, to bring out the beauty that is not always visible in the spaces and in the things that surround us. Certainly was to become an entrepreneur. At the beginning of my career, I worked as an employee in a large studio. I always was in forefront, designing and managing clients and construction side, and I learned a lot. But when I decided to leave my permanent job to open my own studio, I radically changed my career. That was the greatest challenge which gave me endless satisfaction, but also meant great sacrifices and enormous responsibilities. It's not just a matter of designing or discussing your ideas or realizing it by solving technical problem. It's also searching for clients and taking care of administration and thinking about growing the studio. So it's not easy. It is not if you didn't study how to run a business. I have to learn everything by myself. I made mistakes, I learned, I grew up, and I made my studio grow. And now here we are 11 years later. The way in which light inspires me is through observation. Touching the light every day gives me new ideas. This is why I travel around a lot, seeking all forms of light wherever I go. I go out often to public spaces, churches, and forests and mountains to see how the light changes the surroundings. I believe that ideas come from experience, which is fed by observation. Creative process is not born on command. It is the result of a continuous personal evolution that needs to be fed every day. Always believe in yourself. Don't break down if you have to prove that you know as much as or more than a man, or if you meet a problematic customer that question your abilities only because you are a woman. We are women and professionals. So the message is, be good at what you do and be proud of what you are.